All right. Back right here in Western Rhythms. Give a little taste of some hour right now. Long time. And we're going back long time. Going back way back. Right, Stretch? You're making me do all the talk, Yes. Remember back in the days, I was like the silent one.
You see how it felt? I was doing all this.
You were doing all the work back in the day, so now?
I can tell you something about this guy.
Yeah.
Go on.
Could not... Is my mic on?
Yeah, Mike, go on, Stretch.
So I don't want nobody says... I could not get this guy to talk or say two words.
It's not my thing. Wasn't my thing then.
For years. First 3 years.
Years. Yeah, years. Yeah.
I tell him, I say, look, Butch, if I want to go away, you got to... Why? It's... So
I was just a DJ then, man. I just want to play music. That's it. I don't want to talk.
One weekend, I didn't tell him I was going anywhere. I came to the station, and then I said, Asukong.
And then you left.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't just play music. Got to say something. As they say, you got to play it and say it. Mm-hmm. So I start off just playing the music and saying it. Okay, click. Make the music play.
The next time I come back here, my boy, bad with music, man. Listen to his show on Thursdays. Hey, this is DJ Bush,
This is where he got his start, right?
Yeah. Stretch and I started this program, Western Rhythms.
Yeah,
we started this.
When you look back at some of the flyers, there's a bunch of people that you've created opportunities for. So it's not just giving him a chance to DJ, but also encouraging him to get on the microphone. His voice is silky smooth now after all these years. He sounds like the voice of this,
yes,
of a very seasoned broadcaster. But there was also Mike Mission also started DJing here. Is that correct?
And CK, they started.
Did they start with Western Rhythms?
No. They had their own spot there. Actually, they took over somebody else's spot. Before Mike Mission, it was the Sound Supreme show.
Yeah.
With that was with LDG, DJ, and you had Keith and Karen. They're a brother and sister team. They also promote parties and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But on this show specifically, were there other DJs that came up?
Okay, other than me, starting off with Stretch.
Yep.
Then from me was the Professor.
Yeah.
The Professor. And then you had guest DJs coming in. You had guest DJs like Little Thunder Crew.
That's what I heard. Little Thunder got their start here. Is that true?
I don't know if they got this start.
Maybe their first radio.
A big bite.
Yeah. Passing through. Professor was Stretch's main DJ, because from that time I had my own program.
Yeah.
On Butcher T's New Time Cuts.
One of the things is when it's like teaching somebody to drive a car. Once they become confident, because when he became confident, I had to run him off.
Run me off. Go on.
So get your own show.
I said, give me a chance, man. Yeah, but it's good.
Yeah.
I was happy to see that. He really stepped up to the rhythms. You know what I mean? So
not everyone does that though. A lot, mentorship and bringing up the younger generation. So only certain kind of people have that kind of leadership quality. Other people want to block young people from,
I hear what you're saying, and it's so true, because I just mentioned driving, and I remember some years ago, I went to upgrade my driver's license to a class 5, I remember. And I don't know what this little guy did to his mom, his dad, or what. And if you hear this man in the license bureau, get your damn hand. I said, whoa.
Talking to his parents?
Talking to his kid.
Oh.
And come on, you're not sitting. Even the lady who was giving the test said, no, he put in his paper to have a test, he has to have it.
Yeah.
But it's just how he was handling his child. Now, what kind of material do you think he's going to get out of a child like that? Hatred.
Yeah.
But, Montreal is... I lived in both cities. I lived in Toronto 3 years and here 33 years. But what I liked about Montreal too was the nightlife. as I told you before.
Yeah.
Because clubs don't close until 3, 4 in the morning. In Toronto, I remember, what's the name of that club, boy? A lot of black people used to go to this club, big club. I can't remember. And at about 1 o'clock, they started shoving people out. I ready to start a fight. I said, why you pushing me? Yeah, the guy said, you got to get out.
Weren't used to that.
Wow. Yeah.
Not used to that.
But
But apart from that, I can't complain. I love Toronto for how clean it is in them days.
Is that the best you can say for Toronto, Stretch?
What else could I say?
Come on now.
All right, you're a Torontonian. Tell me.
That is going to be a long conversations because you guys have had some great shows. I just listened to the gentleman talk about those shows that he brought to Toronto. I've seen Burning Spear countless times in Toronto, and he always brings it. He was one of my, favorite artists as well.
Mm-hmm.
Third World, they were a regular.
Yeah.
Fab Five was just recently in Brampton, just outside of Toronto.
Who represented the drama?
I'm not even sure who represented. I didn't see that show. My wife's family brought Fab Five here, and Fab Five, in Toronto, and Fab Five was a staple. I produced a festival called Irie Music Festival for like 20 years.
Wow.
And at Irie, we had Morgan Heritage, we had Toots, we had, help me with some of the names. Maxi Priest. Did I say Morgan Heritage?
Yeah.
Come on, Donna.
Of course. We had, I'm trying to remember now too. I'm being thrown off. What's her name? One of the I3s.
I3s.
We had Judy Mowat.
Judy Mowat.
Okay.
I know. I don't want to cut across you, but
No.
Toronto has a market for that.
Yeah.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
They do.
We can't compare.
They
But
do.
for a little town called Montreal, it did well. You know what I mean?
Well, I would never call Montreal a little town because Montreal lives and breathes music.
You see, the biggest show for me that I ever had my hands in, I've had my hands in a lot of shows. I don't tell anybody. Was the Manhattans.
Let's just
Hey, about the
kiss and
Manhattan.
say
That-
goodbye, Manhattans.
Yeah, they came
Yeah.
to the Spectrum, right? The Spectrum, yeah.
And Millie Smart. Millie Jackson.
Millie
Mel
Jackson.
Jackson.
I tell you, I stood up there and I cried when Millie Jackson was singing.
You cried. Why is that?
Man,
That was his girl back in the days.
You had a relationship with Miss Jackson?
no. I did in my mind. No, I just...
It was the
because
legs.
She's rude, kind, and very...
Saucy.
Yes. She stood up in front of that stage, in the middle of that stage. And I see this old guy run from the back. Brrrr. And if those two security guys didn't catch him up front, I would have been sorry for Millie.
Oh, boy.
But it was good. And the Manhattans, and some of the acts Clement was telling you about there, the Manhattans, cleanest group I've ever seen in my life.
And they always came to Canada. At least I know about Montreal now, but they also came to Toronto.
They came here every time.
Yes.
I enjoyed it. But Toronto, I don't know if I'd want to live there again. I'm spoiled now by living in Montreal so long, but Toronto is a nice city.
It's all good. A clean city.
Very
And
clean.
A lot of the artists from Toronto who came to Montreal, one thing they all said, and I mentioned a brother by the name of Jay Douglas.
Mm-hmm.
He said they treated you royally
Yes.
when you came to Montreal. And, it was not as uptight a city.
That's Toronto.
That's Toronto.
Yeah.
Montreal they knew how to have a good time.
If you ever get the chance, you have to come here with somebody who is fluent in French. Let them take you to one of these French clubs. You want to see action? People enjoy themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love to see that, you know what I mean? And years ago, when we were clubbing, as they call it, when we finish at La Siesta there, we finish at 2 o'clock, we'll be going in the East End. And then some people drive away and leave you, and you don't know how to get back home.
Wow. It's more parties in the East End?
Yes, sir. Anyway, so once again, could you kindly promote why we're here so that...
For sure.
Let me just send a shout out. I have several shout outs, but I'll send one to my nephew, Michael. And he lives in New York City. He says he's enjoying it. So I guess we're doing something good. So go right ahead and...
Well, my name is Phil Vassell. I'm here with, the great gentleman known as Stretch, who will be given a special award later on this evening for all the work that he has done in his 33 years here in Montreal. And he's been a staple on CKUT for quite a while. And he's also been very invested in the community, the Black community here, which is something that I think he takes great pride in, and we appreciate that. We're here as part of the Canada Black Music Archives, myself and Donna from the CBMA, and Mark Campbell, who is a professor at U of T, and also the person behind the Afrosonic Innovations Lab. He's a musicologist and an educator, so we both understand and appreciate the value of this history. This is a history that we want to document and preserve online so that it's accessible to the schools, it's accessible to the community, because once these people pass, that history dies with them.
I love that.
And many times you don't really get a chance, when you think about it, to find the information in the history books. These people are living history. You are a living history. Yes, you're being featured on the front page of the Contact here in Montreal. However, that is unusual. And it's something that I think you ought to celebrate, because people here show a lot of respect for you. You're not an athlete, you're not a celebrity, and here you are being given your flowers, as we say.
Well, I am so grateful for people just to say thank you. It's not too many times these things happen, and I'm grateful for that. But it's not me alone. There's a lot of youngsters around, but I'll get my turn to acknowledge them soon,
Okay.
one of these days.
Well, we see a youngster sitting right beside you, and
Look at that guy. He's so young.
he's looking younger and younger every day.
I know.
Can you tell us?
Try to walk good, live good, eat good.
But can you tell us about hiring this guy at your record store?
Oh,
Yes,
Because,
we got to hear that story.
Apparently, you had an important record store in this city, and there's apparently this guy proved to be a good hire, I guess.
really and truly, he and I had a little thing that we'd play at house parties and all that, and it so happened.
The basement on Com Street.
Yes.
All right.
Jeez, I didn't want to.
Tell them, Stretch. You can let it out now.
The basement.
It's safe. It's safe, Stretch.
Yes, the basement on Com Street. We'd have a little party there every other Saturday night, and that's how I got to meet him. And somehow the record store, the previous owner, had given it up, because he says he couldn't manage it, and he sold it to us. What I had liked about that record store is that it was right behind the Spectrum.
All of it. It was by the Forum on Classe Street.
On Classe Street. So every act, every name, everybody, Blue Finger, Rubberhead, to anybody come in, we would see them. If they're doing the show on a Saturday, like what is this Blue Rodeo? I wanted to see these guys so bad. So what I did, I went and I hung out. I became friends with the doorman at the back where they bring in the equipment. So I just hold something and walk in.
Oh, because what he's saying, right across the street you had the Forum.
Yeah.
What he's talking about, other than across the street from the Forum, right next door to the record store was the Mustache Club.
Yeah.
That was it. The Mustache Club had, it was a smaller venue, and they had rock groups coming in there. Okay. So like big popular groups that you would hear now, you know,
when they were little bands.
Yeah, they were playing. They started off at the Mustache Club, right on Classe, right beside the record store.
Oh,
well, you know, it's what I'm talking about. Sometimes we see is some of the hockey players going in. Now I don't know nothing about hockey players, but you go and you shake hand and you feel good, man. Who was that? I don't know. But we felt good. It was nice growing up downtown, and the Forum, it brought a lot of joy. I know I went in there to see Stevie Wonder doing the rehearsal. That one I remember
Stevie
clearly.
Wonder.
Stevie Wonder.
Wow. That must have been a treat.
It was. Lionel Richie. I had seen Lionel when he was much younger. And his voice hasn't changed. The same voice. We saw a lot of acts left of the record store, right across of the record store. So that it was good them days. And as you said something that really hit me, that it's good when these things are, you know, put to a point where the young ones can hear and see and grow up with whatever we're selling them, which needs to be very good. I can't take the pum pum dance with some of these things I see coming out of Jamaica now. They should not be allowed. But who am I, you know? I want to see the kids. You know, I was watching Jamaica Channel over the holidays that they had there. And I saw some kids coming out there and singing, man. Broke my heart. It was such beautiful things at the stadium and at the stadium and the, what do they call that? I soon remember. But that's how I remember Jamaica. I remember Jamaica learning to sing behind the mango tree because you didn't want to get in trouble and stuff like that. But things like that, you know. I love to go a-wandering. I had an aunt who loved that. And once I want some mango, she lived on Arnold Road in Veneto. I would start singing my song from 2 houses down. I only know 2-3 words. Along the mountainside, and as I go, I love to sing the happy wanderer's song. Then I'd hear Valerie. She'd come out singing, man. And I knew I would get my 10 shillings and the mangoes.
Did you only do that in mango season or anytime you wanted 10 shillings?
Whenever I need money. She worked at Jamaica Times store for 200 years.
Wow. So let me ask you quickly, how long did the record store continue for?
How long, Butch?
Well, so, this record store it was open in 1979, right? Was 79 stretch? Yeah, 79, and it was open for like about
A year?
No, man, but more than that. About 2 years, 3
Yeah,
years.
something like that.
And then originally before, who Stretch bought it from was Sky Record. It was called Sky Records, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, Ducky. That's what people know him as Ducky, but the record store was called Sky Records. And in the record store, you got your reggae, your funk, your soca, your jazz, you know, very popular store, you know, Sky Reggae. And then from when Stretch took it over, we kind of maintained that, doing the same thing, driving to New York. Well, Stretch would be the one driving. At times I would go with him, drive to New York, he'll leave on a Friday on a Thursday to make sure he gets back on a Friday or a Saturday, you know, and get the stock of reggae, R&B, any up-to-date stuff, you know. And I was the one working there and making sure that, hey, music's being played and
stuff was moving.
Things were moving. If it ain't moving, I'm in trouble.
Right, Bodan? One of the things that amazed me till this day, we would have people from Quebec City, from out of Ottawa. When you ask them, where do you live? Ottawa. And you come here to buy records? She say, yeah, we can't get the records elsewhere.
Yeah, it was like the hub. And also in Montreal, a lot of the DJs, younger sound systems would come there, you know, had it like Superman Genius, Mellotone, you had One Drop, you had you had guys like LDG buying there. They were younger youths in those days. You had I can name myself, whatever, you know.
Yes, you can.
It was part of my benefits. No, but you know, everybody was buying music there, you know, and it's a good feeling. Up to today, you know, there's some of them that passed, some of them still around, you know.
Yeah.
You know, popular sound system, popular DJs that, you know, came through back in the days. And it's nice to know that Stretch, you know, Ducky from Sky Records into Stretch Records, I mean, service the DJs and people who bought records as a hobby, you know, because you can't forget about people who bought records as a hobby, you know, and satisfy their musical pleasures, you know, because you had a wide variety of music, man, from, like I said, from jazz, reggae, soca, and then sometimes we have some Latin music, because meantime when Stretch is going there, because usually, like, you know, when you're driving to New York, you're just getting into New York, into the city, and you're going through all the stations, and you're just zipping through. Exactly. So, you know, you're so open to a form of music on the radio that you hear a nice hot salsa music, and Stretch is a lover of music like myself, you know, and he'll pick up a couple copies of this.
I still love music.
Yeah. Stretch, we know that. And, you know, a lover of music, but especially he'll hear a certain song, or, man, here, boy, he picked this up from the distributor. You only pick up like about 5 copies, but see what you can do with it. See if you can move it, you know, because it's big in New York now. Here in Montreal is a different story. But, you know, you'll get 1 or 2 people will buy it, and all right, you know. And, remember, it wasn't only 12 inches in those days. You had the 45s, too.
That's right.
Which are way more affordable, right?
Exactly, yeah. You know.
But, yeah, the record store, I think, is important to note, because it is like almost like a community center in a sense, because you're going to find everyone who's anyone in the music industry, either coming through to buy records or coming through to find someone who's buying records.
And just to let you know, I mean, that was the main record store. There was others, but to get your Caribbean music and your real funk music, you know, Stretch Records, Sky Records, that was the place downtown. You had other record stores like in Côte d'Ivoire, you know, and stuff like that. Okay. Yeah. You had
and they still had Caribbean music,
and they had their Caribbean music, you know, and not the brag and boast or whatever.
Stretches downtown,
but you know, you had the selection, and again, even when Sky had it, the same thing. You had the collection, you know, the collection, the variety, and whatever, you know, and that's where we had the upper hand. Some people might say, "Boy, I'm a big up." No. It's for real, you know.
Okay.
Because I put myself in the neutral side.
Yeah. So here's a question for you both, because, you know, some of these record stores that I went to, I remember going to some record stores in Eglinton West in Toronto, and most of the buyers were DJs. they'd buy all those different styles,
Yeah, yeah.
funk, jazz, whatever.
Mm.
But it wasn't as diverse as I imagine you guys were being downtown. Was it a very diverse audience?
Yes, well, because we had a Latin Americans,
We had all kind of breed of people coming and buying music, all breeds.
Yeah, it's not just the reggae. Like this, I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't label that, but the record store Uptown I'm thinking of. That's all he concentrated on, reggae.
Yeah, they're 45 to reggae, but there you had a selection. You had your selection of funk, your reggae, your soca, and then you had a little spot your Latin music or whatever the case is, and your jazz.
So those must have been happy times, Stretch?
Every day of my life is the happy times. I enjoyed doing what I did, and I still do till this day, regardless whatever it may be. As long as good things are happening around, your friends are healthy, and you're healthy. What more can you say? It's happy times.
Well, one more thing I wanted to note, okay, because I'm a father, you're a father, grandfather. You're talking about bringing your two grandkids on Sunday to be there when you get that award. How important is that to you for those grandkids to see that your community is giving you some love and your flowers?
I don't know what are their inner thoughts, but just the mere fact that I will call them for them to come up and receive it.
Oh, you will?
Yeah, I do that all the time. I don't just walk up there and they're there with their parents. It's my two boys, so they come in with grandpa.
And why is that?
Why is that? Because that's a foundation. Their parents are very much attached to them. They're well loved. Me, I don't have no problem with my grandsons coming up with me. So, in the long run, somewhere down the line, they will remember these things and say, we were up with grandpa. And they like that, so. I remember me as a young man in Jamaica watching my brother run and jumping up and down and getting on like a madman. It stayed with me because he was a track and field guy, and so it's all good, My grandsons, whatever I do, will always be there. The only thing they can't drive my car.
Not yet. Not yet. All right. So I think at this point
we have another guest.
We got another guest on.
Yeah, we'll take a break and we'll just take a little break there and we'll just play some Whoa Donkey here by United Sisters. We won't win it. We won't win it. All right. If you're just locking in Western Rhythms right here on your 90.3 FM dial. Also out of Washington, D.C., WFFR, SunshineRadio.com. Locking in the D.C. side. Canada Black Music Archives. Takeover right here on CKUT 90.3 FM. All right.